key components to a marketing plan. Let's just talk about it and see if we grasp some of the concepts. What's the first thing we need to have with a marketing plan?
Product or service.
Product or service, right? Good. So if we have a product or service, what is the key piece of a product or service, or the key element of a product or service that's going to make it important?
Uniqueness.
Right, the uniqueness, different. We're calling that a USP. So we have to have that USP, unique selling proposition. We don't want Me Too items. Right? Anybody can market a Me Too item, and you can have marginal success, some success, a lot of success. But the idea of marketing is to really be able to be unique, be different, and to get the word out there and to communicate your value to your consumer that you have something different. And that's the best part of marketing anything, is that you're different and unique. So we have a product, we have a service, could be either or. Remember, we're going to use product or service interchangeably here during the class. So sometimes it'll be a product, sometimes it'll be a service. There are certain things that we can do that repeat itself, other things that we have to do to change our strategy if it's a product or a service. So it's unique and it's different. Okay, what's the next thing that we have to look at when we talk about marketing and developing a marketing plan and a strategy?
The objectives and the promotion, and what you're going to promote or how you're going to promote.
Okay, so we got a couple things going on there. The promotion. Remember this, the marketing mix. What was the marketing mix? Who remembers that?
The 3 P's.
4 P's.
4 P's. We forgot one. Which one did you forget?
Place.
Price.
Place, price,
Promotion.
product, and promotion, right? Okay. So those are 4 P's. That's the marketing mix. So at a minimum, you have to at least cover that in your marketing plan. But of course, we go more than just the 4 P's in a marketing plan. So let's talk about one of those P's. So we have product over here, so that was one done. So let's talk about our promotion that you brought up. Promotion, of course, this is not in any order right now. So we're just throwing out ideas, just to remind ourselves what we need to put into a marketing plan. A promotion is what? What do you think? Promotion. What's the basic definition of promotion of marketing? When you're promoting something through marketing, what are you doing?
Bringing point into the market to introduce an introduction point of the product into the market.
Yeah, that's part of it. So you're going to introduce something to the market. You're using a communication technique, right, to promote the product out. So promotion could be a lot of different tools that we have, and we'll review that. And when we talk about promotion, we use terms like IMC, which is, IMC means...
Integrated marketing communication.
Yes, and IMC is the Integrated Marketing Communications Plan. We use terms like 360-degree marketing, which is my favorite term. And when we use 360-degree marketing, we talk about touch points, reaching all touch points of the consumer to make sure that they see and understand what we're marketing and how we're marketing our product out there into the marketplace. Okay, that's what we're using a lot today when we talk about social media and print advertising, TV advertising. A lot of the communication plans that you see are using 360-degree marketing. We'll look at that during week 5 and week 6 when we look at advertising and promotions. All right, good. So promotion. The other P is what? Place, right? Hello, come on in. So place. What is place?
The place that the product is going to be released or the service is going to be offered.
Okay, that's in general terms, that's correct. So when we say place in the marketing terms, that would be our channel of distribution, right? So this is our distribution channel. Now in marketing, we have 4 levels of distribution channels. And again, if you remember the 4 levels, if we have manufacturer to consumer, what's the first level of distribution? Wholesale is one of them, but it's not the first, but that's okay. We'll put it here. Wholesale, and in order to go from wholesale, you need to go to retail, right? And then to a consumer. Okay, that's one of them. There's 4. The other one would be
Agent.
an agent. That would be number, we'll call that number 4. So if there's an agent here, that would be here to a wholesaler. What would be number 2?
Direct.
Direct, yeah. We'll put that as number 1. Direct. And the most obvious, the one that we use every day, would be what?
Retail.
The retail one, right? That's the one when we walk into a retail and we buy. So there's basically 4 channels of distribution. And we have to understand as a marketer where our product fits into that channel. Pretty important to know that, because that's going to dictate not only our communication to the channel, but it's also going to dictate our pricing matrix and our schedule and our strategy on how we're going to market something into the channel. All right, so now we have place, promotion, product, price. Another one of the P's. So let's talk about price. What is there about price that we have to know in order to come up with a price?
The markets, the competitive price in the same product.
Yeah, it's the competitors. Something we didn't talk about last week is 3 C's. What do you think those 3 C's are? Competitor is one of them. I'll give you that one. What's the other one?
Cost.
Cost is another. And the last one? 3 C's. What else would affect your price? Competitors, cost, and think of a C.
Customer.
Customer, yes. Customer is it. Perfect. So if you know those specific items, the competitor information, the cost of products and services, and the customer, then you're going to be able to come up with a good price. Make sense? Okay. In order to come up with a good price, you also need to know your variables. And we talked about cost variables. There's variable cost, fixed cost, that would be your total cost, remember that? So your total cost is equal to variable cost plus your fixed cost. And then you also have a COGS. What is your COGS?
Cost of goods sold.
Cost of goods sold, right? You have your SG&A, which is your selling general administrative expenses. And one other line, you have marketing expenses. So all those have to go into your calculation in order to make your profitability. Make sense? All right, so far we have product, promotion, place, and price. 4 P's, marketing mix. Do we stop there? We know, let's think about this for a second. Remember we have the questions of who, what, where, how, why, and when, right?
It's about sales?
Agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what do we not know all those questions so far? Do we know who and where? We do? Where is that listed here? Show me what a who is.
We don't know who.
We don't know who, right? So let's find out. So what is our who? What do we call our who?
The target.
The target market, right? We have to evaluate our target market, right? Okay, so if we take our target market we need to look at the certain characteristics of that particular market in order to communicate the strategy. So we need to know demographics, we need to know where they are, who they are, that's all under the target, okay? And sometimes we know why, we quantify them and qualify them. All right, so now we know the who, and again, this is in general terms. I just want you to understand the general terms of all the pieces that we're trying to fill in the blanks here. What's the next thing we need to know? We talked about this C over here. Did we fill in the blank on that one? A competitor? Do we know who a competitor is yet? No. So let's see who that is. So now a competitor is over here, our competition. And how do we get to our competition? What analysis do we use?
SWOT.
We use a SWOT analysis, right? So if we use a SWOT analysis, we're going to look at me, competitor 1, competitor 2, and competitor 3, and we're going to evaluate our SWOT analysis. Make sense? Everybody agree with that?
Mhm.
And we're identifying 2 or 3 points under each strategic item of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if we know what our competitors' opportunities are, we can make ourselves ready for that. If we know where our competitors' threats are, maybe we could enhance those threats to make it even a better opportunity for us. If we know what the weaknesses are of our competition, maybe we can take advantage of them. If we know what our strengths are, maybe we can strengthen them and make it even better for us. So it's important to identify them. And we identify them by looking at a minimum of 1, 2, or 3 points in each section. That's important. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, or 3 points in each section. Okay, any questions so far? All right. So we're refreshing what we talked about last class. So just to reiterate again what we're going over. What else do we need to know about our environment? We talked about our competition. There's 2 environments that we look at. We do an analysis on 2 environments. What environments are there? The micro analysis, right? And then we do a macro analysis. The macro analysis includes what? What is it? I slept, right? Perfect. So I slept is looking at things like the internet, the social norms, the legal norms, economic, political, and technological. That's all pieces of it. Okay, so we need to know what's going on in the macro world as well. Okay? All right, so we have product, service, promotion, place, price, target, macro market, target market, competition, and what's another piece that we need to have?
Budget.
A budget. Okay, now the budget's important because the budget is going to tell us what? How much money we're going to spend on the promotion, which is over here, okay? And it's also going to tell us our forecast of how much sales we're going to make. Agreed? So that's an important piece of it to have. And normally we like to see a 3-year rollout. So we look at year 1, 2, and 3. And here, again, we're looking at revenue, less your total cost, your SG&A, your marketing, and your COGS. And if you back all that out, what do you have left? Your profits, at least your gross profits. Agreed? Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections so far, but we talked about 9 last week, didn't we? What's the 9th one? The 9th section we talked about.
Make a decision?
No. One section we talked about, you do it last. Executive summary, exactly right. That's a trick question, I'm trying to get you guys. All right, good. So the executive summary goes up here, right? Okay. And the executive summary basically is an outline, a very intense outline of everything we're talking about, and it's in 2 or 3 pages, maybe the most. And it basically is an executive summary of what's going on there. Okay? Now, in most marketing plans, you have to have these 9 components. In your marketing plan, we're doing it in sections a little differently than this, but it has to cover this basic fundamental stuff. And if you get lost, you ask the who, the what, the when, the why, the how, the where. Every time you get stuck, sit back and think about those questions, and it will help you take it to the next level. All right? Any questions on that so far? All right, when you think about it in these terms, it's less intimidating than looking at it the whole plan. Would you agree? So a little less intimidating, a little more easy to remember. If you start with the 4 Ps, you remember the product or service has to be different. You remember you have to communicate a message to a target audience. You remember you have to review the competition. You remember the macro analysis, and you remember the budget. Those are the big components that you have to have in the plan. And then, of course, all the little pieces get filled in as we build the plan.